Welcome to another deep dive, and this time we're diving into a world where magic is real, where good and evil are locked in an epic battle, and where the fate of humanity hangs in the balance. We're talking about Robert Jordan's Lord of Chaos, and we're going to unpack what makes this story so captivating.
Lord of Chaos really grabs you with its blend of epic themes, good versus evil, prophecy, political intrigue, but it makes it also personal. You really feel the struggles of the characters.
It's not just about armies and battles, right? It's about these characters, their internal struggle, and the weight of the decisions they have to make. So for those who might be new to this world, think magic, but like real magic.
Oh yeah, definitely real. We're talking about a force known as the One Power. Certain people can tap into it, channel it.
Sounds pretty awesome.
Yeah.
But I'm guessing it's not all sunshine and rainbows. There's got to be a downside.
You bet there is.
Yeah.
This power, it's not just a source of wonder, it can be incredibly dangerous. See, there's this entity, the Dark One, pure evil, wants to break free and basically, well, destroy everything. And standing against him, the Dragon Reborn.
Talk about pressure, the weight of the world on your shoulders. And what I find so interesting is that in Lord of Chaos, the Dragon Reborn isn't some distant legend. It's Rand al'Thor, a young guy who'd probably rather just live a normal life.
That's the thing about destiny, right? It doesn't really care what you want. And Rand, he's right in the thick of it, whether he likes it or not.
And this is where it gets really interesting because he's not just fighting the Dark One. He's got his own demons to deal with, plus a world full of power struggles.
And those power struggles are everywhere you look. Take the Aes Sedai, for instance.
The Aes Sedai, the women who can channel the One Power, you'd think they'd be united, right?
Right.
Facing the ultimate evil and all.
You'd think so, but it's not that simple.
Yeah.
Imagine an organization of powerful women steeped in tradition. Suddenly, bam, the Dragon Reborn is back. The same figure who, according to their history, broke the world the last time around. Some see Rand as a weapon, others their only hope. And that kind of division,
Recipe for disaster.
pretty much, it's tearing them apart from the inside out.
And then there's Eleida and everything that happened. We're not just talking about a difference of opinion here. This is a full-blown power grab.
Right. Eliada's coup split the Aes Sedai in two. Now you've got those loyal to her controlling the White Tower, their traditional seat of power. But the others, they fled to Saladar, formed their own faction.
So instead of facing the Dark One together, they're too busy fighting each other.
It weakens them. It makes things even tougher for Rand. Who do you trust? Who actually holds the power? It's not so clear anymore.
Which makes Siwyn and Lean even more interesting. These are high-ranking Aes Sedai who were stripped of their power, and yet they're secretly supporting Rand.
See, power comes in many forms. They might not have the One Power anymore, but they still have knowledge, influence, and they're not afraid to use it.
Makes you wonder what other games people are playing in the shadows, and how it will all affect the fate of the world.
That's the question that hangs over everything in Lord of Chaos. And the Aes Sedai, they're just one piece of the puzzle. We've also got entire nations with their own rulers, ambitions, all maneuvering for advantage, and a war brewing that could destroy everything.
It's like a giant, deadly game of chess with armies instead of pawns. And then there's poor Morghese, the Queen of Andor. Talk about being caught in the middle of it all.
She's a perfect example of how quickly things can change. One minute you're a queen, the next you're on the run, your own kingdom turned against you. Nobody is safe in this world. Anything can happen.
And it's not just external threats she has to worry about, right? It's like this whole other level of danger. Makes you wonder how anyone can handle that kind of pressure.
Yeah, imagine having the memories of someone else in your head. Not just any memories, but the memories of Luz Theron Telamon,
The Dragon Reborn from a past age.
the one who went mad and broke the world. It's like a constant battle for control inside Rand's own mind.
So not only is he trying to save the world, but he's got this whole other battle going on internally. Talk about a heavy burden. How does he even start to prepare for the last battle with all that going on?
Well, gathering allies is a good place to start, and that's where the Ashamen come in.
Ashamen. Those are the men who can channel Rhaeda. A little risky considering the history of male channelers.
It's a huge risk. Male channelers, they were feared, hunted, because of the taint on Seddon.
Right, the taint, which drove them mad.
Exactly. That's why they were often gentled.
Gentiling. That's where they cut off a man's access to the One Power permanently.
A desperate measure for a desperate time. But Rand, he's trying to gather these men, train them to fight the Dark One.
It's a long shot. But what choice does he have? Can he really trust these Ashamen, though? They could turn on him at any moment.
That's the question, isn't it? And it's not just about trusting the Ashamen as a group, it's about the individuals within their ranks. Like Tame, for instance.
Tame. He's the one Rand put in charge of training the Ashaman, right? I always got a weird vibe from that guy.
He's definitely an enigma. Powerful, ruthless. Even Rand seems to be a little wary of him.
A little. Rand trusts almost no one the way he trusts Tame. I guess when the fate of the world is at stake, you have to take risks. Speaking of untrustworthy, we can't forget about the Forsaken.
Ah, yes, the Forsaken. The Dark One's most powerful servants. Each one a nightmare.
Maybe they're like the ultimate villains, each with their own terrifying abilities. But they're not just mindless servants, are they? They've got their own agendas, their own ambitions.
Absolutely. They're loyal to the Dark One, but they're also constantly vying for power amongst themselves.
So even in the heart of evil, there's backstabbing and betrayal. It wouldn't be a good story without it, would it?
It keeps things interesting, that's for sure. And it shows just how unpredictable the forces of evil can be. Take Samael and Grandal, for example. Two of the most powerful Forsaken. You'd think they'd be working together, right?
To defeat the Dragon Reborn, bring about the end of the world, the usual.
But instead, they're playing their own games, each trying to outmaneuver the other, manipulating events to their own advantage.
I knew it. It's always the quiet ones you have to watch out for. So we've got Rand fighting his own internal battle against the Taint, the Aes Sedai divided and weakened by their own power struggles, and the Forsaken scheming against each other.
It's a recipe for chaos.
To say the least. And in the middle of all this, you've got Mat, Karen, Egwene, Nynaeve, all trying to find their own way. It's what makes them such relatable characters, you know?
They're the heart of the story. They remind us that even in the face of epic battles and world-altering events, it's the human element that truly resonates.
It's their struggles, their victories that make us keep turning the pages.
Take Matt Cawthon. He's Rand's best friend, always got a joke on his lips, but deep down, he just wants a simple life.
And fate has other plans.
Always. He's got this connection to the Dragon Reborn, to Rand, and it keeps dragging him into danger.
But he always lands on his feet, somehow. He's got that luck. And a way with women. And a knack for getting into trouble.
That's Matt. But under that carefree exterior, he's got a good heart. And he would do anything for his friends, even if it means facing down an army of Trollocs.
And then there's Perrin, the strong, silent type. Except when wolves are involved.
Perrin Ibra, a blacksmith with the soul of a wolf. He's got this incredible connection to the wolf brother, can communicate with them.
Imagine being able to talk to wolves. Must come in handy from time to time.
It's a gift. And a burden. Sets him apart. Makes him question who he is, where he belongs.
He's on a journey to find himself. Just so happens that journey is taking place in a world that's falling apart.
It's not ideal. But then again, whose journey is, and then of course we have the women.
Egwene and Nynaeve. Two sides of the same coin, in a way. Both incredibly strong women, both capable of wielding incredible power, but they walk very different paths.
Egwene, she's embracing the ways of the Ale, learning to be a wise one, a healer, a leader.
She's always been drawn to knowledge, to understanding the world around her.
And she's got this quiet strength about her, a determination that you don't see very often.
She's going to need it.
She will. And then there's Nynaeve, fiercely independent, headstrong. She doesn't need anyone to tell her how to channel. She just does it.
That woman is a force of nature.
She can be a bit rough around the edges, but her heart's in the right place. And she's fiercely loyal to those she cares about, even if she doesn't always show it.
So we've got Rand with the weight of the world on his shoulders, literally. The Aes Sedai, supposed to be this beacon of hope, are too busy fighting amongst themselves. And the Forsaken, well, they're as slippery and dangerous as ever. And in the midst of it all, we have these incredibly complex, relatable characters all trying to survive, to make a difference, to find their place in a world that's teetering on the edge of destruction. It's a lot, and yet through it all, there are these glimmers of hope, like these whispers we hear about a cache of Angreal and these mysterious places called Steading. What can you tell us about those? Do they offer any kind of refuge in all this chaos?
They're definitely key elements in Lord of Chaos. The cache of Angreal. Well, let's just say it's a bit like finding a hidden treasure chest. Except instead of gold, it's filled with objects that can amplify a channeler's power.
Okay, so we're not talking about your average magical artifacts here. These Angreal sound downright dangerous.
They can be. Imagine someone like Rand, who's already struggling to control the one power, getting hold of something that could make him even stronger.
That's a scary thought.
It is, and it's why Mokedian, one of the Forsaken, is so intent on finding this cache. What she could do with that kind of power. Well, let's just say it sends shivers down my spine.
I can imagine. And the steading. They seem like the opposite of that. Places of peace and tranquility.
In a way, yes. The steading are hidden havens, untouched by the Dark One's influence or the chaos of the world, guarded by the Ogier.
The Ogier, they're the ones who live so long, right? And they're really in tune with nature.
Exactly. Ancient beings, wise and powerful in their own right. They see the steading as sacred, places of balance and harmony.
So while everyone else is preparing for war, the Ogier are tending to these pockets of peace. It makes you wonder, what role will they play in the last battle?
That's a question that haunts me, to be honest. Will they be able to remain neutral? Or will they be drawn into the conflict despite their best efforts?
Only time will tell, I guess. But their very existence gives me hope. It's a reminder that even in the darkest of times, there are still places where peace reigns, and that's something worth fighting for.
Absolutely. And I think that's one of the most important takeaways from Lord of Chaos. It's not just a story about magic or prophecy or epic battles, though it certainly has all of those things. It's a story about hope, about courage, about the power of the human spirit to persevere even in the face of unimaginable darkness.
It's a powerful message, and one that feels especially relevant today. So as we navigate our own complex world with all its challenges and uncertainties, let's remember the lessons we've gleaned from this deep dive into Lord of Chaos. Let's choose wisely, act with courage, and never give up hope. Because even the smallest actions can have a ripple effect and ultimately make a difference in the grand tapestry of life. Thanks for joining us on this deep dive. Until next time, may you always find your own steading in the storm.